Everybody, this is AI with Dr. Hansen, and I'm delighted to have Liza Adams with us, coming all the way from America. Good morning, good afternoon to you.
Hi, Craig. Happy to be here. So thrilled to meet you finally.
Awesome. And like you, I'm in many different AI communities trying to keep abreast of things and learning from others. And we connected in the Marketing AI Institute's Slack group, and there's so much information in there, isn't there?
Oh, it's such an amazing community. The amount of sharing and
Mm.
learning. I love that about the AI community. There's really no one's an expert, so we're all learning from each other. We're on the same learning journey.
What I love is I can jump in there and see a conversation starting where someone asks a question or describes their situation, or they're having a challenge navigating, setting, launching, trying AI in their organization. And then when I check back later in the day, there are multiple responses with different links to other articles, plans, resources, people, speakers, notes. There's so much content being shared. It is a vibrant community to be part of.
Absolutely. I keep saying, it is as if OpenAI dropped off a bunch of really powerful Lego pieces at our doorstep in November of 2022. However, it did not come in a box that had a picture for what to build, nor instructions for how to build it. So
Mm.
here we are. We're all learning from each other. We learn what works, what doesn't work, and what works and what doesn't work changes almost on a daily basis.
Yeah. So you're doing lots of coaching and training with Growth Path and helping organizations make the move. Why don't you tell us about your origin story and how you became aware of AI?
Oh, wow. I've been a lifelong learner of STEM. I started out as an electrical engineer way back when, and I realized that I can tell stories. And in marketing, storytelling is one of the most powerful gifts that we have. And given my passion for STEM, I'm also very passionate about data. So combining data with storytelling, in marketing, that's such a gift. It's kind of like, when you can capture hearts and minds, the wallets
Mm.
follow, right? So and my journey has taken me to marketing leadership and executive roles in Silicon Valley. So I've been in business to business technology for over 20 years. And I realized that I started out with predictive analytics and machine learning about a decade ago. And then a
Mm.
year and a half ago, generative AI came to be. And I realized fairly quickly that Gen AI can elevate the strategic value of marketing. It is more than just an intern for us. It is more than just something that we can use to create blogs, create
Mm.
content, make our emails better, or get key takeaways from very long articles. We can actually use it as a thought partner. So it could be a collaborator with us to enhance our strategic thinking and give us better ideas. It could be used for automation, personalization, data analytics, and research. And when we combine all of those things, it can truly elevate the strategic value of marketing. And not just marketing, any employee in our roles, and used responsibly is the caveat, right? Because AI is a tool, just like a hammer can be used to build, it can also be used to
Mm.
destroy. So I am a big advocate for AI literacy and AI education because that's foundational in everything that we do. And I always say that, if AI is to benefit all of humanity, we need to have diverse voices, diverse thinking, diverse perspectives, um, heard at the table, have a seat at the table. And then ultimately, when we have AI knowledge, it puts us in a much better position to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, and then society as a whole, rather than relying on somebody else who may or may not have the same values as us influence our decisions. So that's
Mm.
kind of my journey and my passion for AI. And I think there's going to be just lots of opportunities for more of humanity to ensure that this technology benefits all of us rather than just a select few.
Lisa, you said an interesting phrase a little while ago about AI literacy. So, coming from an education background, being a teacher, I'm thinking about the skills, knowledge, and understanding that people need around AI. And so, because you're a trainer who does lots of training at all different levels in large organizations, what would you say are some of those key skills, knowledge, and understandings that people should have to navigate AI?
I think one of the key things is just this intense curiosity. Because it did not come with a handbook, as I mentioned, right? There are no instructions for this. Even the developers of AI are rushing to develop the capabilities. The experts are more focused on the technology and the use of it. There's less conversation around how to use it, how to apply it, how to apply it well, responsibly and ethically. And so this notion of being intensely curious is top of mind. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're the dean of schools or a data analyst, get your hands on it. And by working with it, we start understanding what it does. We now understand the power of it. We can start pushing it to its highest capabilities. And then we start understanding its limitations. And we start understanding the risks associated with AI. So I think first and foremost, this intense curiosity is so critical. Secondly, I think inspiring what's possible
Mm,
is also really important. I don't know, I like watching these home improvement shows. And when I see a dilapidated home, I can't see what's possible. I'm one of those people that I need to see a rendering of what might be
right.
done to this home. And I think many people are the same thing, are the same way. That we get served up a conversation bar on ChatGPT, and we're just supposed to start typing. Well, I don't know how to use that. So this notion of inspiration and getting inspiration from others, from what they've done and what they've been able to build, what worked for them, what didn't work for them, I think is super critical in the world of literacy and AI knowledge. The third aspect of this is just this notion of sharing that I mentioned a while ago.
Mm,
Um, with sharing, I think we have a much richer education. We have, diversity in thought. We are able to expand our aperture beyond what we had originally thought it could do. So I just believe that the rising tide lifts all boats when it comes to AI, unlike previous technologies that we've seen. So the combination of intense curiosity, the rising tide lifts all boats, that sharing the community aspect when it comes to learning is super critical. The last thing that I might add is, there's so much focus on the right answer. Like, what is the
mm,
right answer, right? When we prompt, we want a good answer. And I hear many people say, oh, AI didn't give me a good answer. It wasn't good enough. Therefore, I'm not going to use it. It's not good enough. When it gets better, then I'll use it. And I think we forget that AI, at least in today's version, is still reliant on our expertise and our knowledge and the data that we feed it.
mm,
One of my good friends, Andy Crestodina, said that AI today stands for average intelligence.
mm,
Uh, and it doesn't become a higher level of intelligence until you feed it knowledge, until you give it data,
mm.
until you guide it your own expertise.
Yeah, that's good.
Much like, guide it with marketing best practices, I can't guide it on how to fly an airplane because I don't know how. That's not my expertise. So I think this notion of not being intimidated by it because we have the power to guide it is also just super important.
Mm, yeah, it's really great. You're talking about being inspired by other people's use in there. And so principals of schools are marketing to their communities. Teachers are marketing to their students, and AI provides opportunities to do that better and to do that well and communicate the message. I really like what you said about telling stories. Jesus was a great storyteller. I think storytelling is the greatest way to bring change to the world. And so, can you give us some examples of some stories where you've seen organizations or individuals leverage AI to tell stories, to communicate well to their community?
Yeah, I am I'm actually on the executive advisory board of a university. So I of the Anderson College of Business and Compute. And one of the things that we're thinking about is just the curriculum in general, right? So I tell the story of the change in education and how that might happen over time, because I am super passionate about those who are early in their careers and are, recent graduates, because I do believe that they might have, that they're probably the most vulnerable when it comes to potential replacement rather than augmentation of AI.
Right.
So the stories there are around the journey that we take as people early in our career. We take these classes, we take our 101s or 202s or 303s, and then maybe onto your master's and then doctoral education. And I tell the students about the learning that we need to apply today is less about the traditional things that we learned in the past. The new learnings are more about ethics, more about change management and leadership, working with a highly diverse workforce, multi-generational workforce. It's how to work with machines and how to work with AI, right? That's a very different kind of journey that students will now have to go through. And it's also a very different story arc that is going to resonate with potential employers. I think right now, early in career folks have not figured out how to insert their story in what makes them relevant in the workforce. What will make them relevant is all of these things that I just talked about, right? How do they work with machines? How do they work with a multi-generational workforce? Those types of things. And I think the education system in particular needs to put a lot more focus on how to use AI, because students are going to be expected to use it once they come into the workforce. And when I talk about how to use AI, there's a lot of notions around, oh, AI is being used for cheating and AI will just give us the answers. How is that good for the students? I have a 12-year-old boy. He's in middle school. And I teach him AI, but the answers are not what's most important to me. How he got to the answer is what's most important. I'm like, Josh, just like math, I don't care that the answer is 120. Tell me how you got to 120. Same thing in AI. It's not about the answer. As a student, show me your prompts. Show me how you guided AI. Show me how you checked AI's work. Show me how you challenged AI. And when a student can show me that, then that's learning, right? Because that is exactly what companies are going to ask these early in career folks, or even those who have already been in their roles for a long time. How are you using AI and guiding it so that it can complement our skill sets as human beings? So anyway, I kind of went on with the story there, but that's kind of how I think about the learning journey, and the story is now changing for many of the early in career folks.
Yeah, I think this time we have, is it 5 generations or 6 generations in the workforce? I mean, that's incredible to think about just the diversity in generations, let alone other diversity for managers, those trying to get in, those trying to navigate moving up the ranks. It's challenging.
That's right. Yeah, it is. But what's interesting, Craig, is I don't know if you've seen the Microsoft and LinkedIn Work Trends Index report.
Yes.
You've seen that one, right?
Yes.
And there's a statistic in there. I don't know the exact numbers now, but it was anywhere from 68% to 73% adoption of AI by generation. So there's not much difference between the different generations, which is quite interesting. And I think it is, here's just my hypothesis. I think my hypothesis there is, unlike prior technologies, like cloud, mobile, social, SaaS, AI is one of those where people are starting to feel like it's different. This is not just going to change the way we work. It is also going to change the way we live. And because the impact will be far greater than, previous technologies, I think more people are leaning into it more than others. Just my thought on that. So
Yeah, that's really
I
good.
think it's going to be more pervasive.
I haven't
Go
noticed that
ahead, sorry.
particular statistic, but I think that report is really, really helpful. It's really helpful when I show certain parts of it when I'm doing a teacher-only day or a principals meeting or a training with a group of school leaders or school trainers, and just showing that and seeing how the rise of the power user and the large percentage of employees that turn up with their own AI, AI in your pocket, and they're already using it. So we better get something to bring coherence to what's happening and maximizing the opportunity for it rather than the drawbacks, as there always is with some type of new technology. So where do you think, just to wrap up then, Lisa, and I really, really appreciate your time because I know you're so busy, where do you think things are going that other people may not have thought about or has not been communicated? Where do you see things going with AI impacting education or the workforce?
I feel that we are still highly underestimating the power of AI. As I mentioned previously, I think there's still a lot of focus on content creation as one of the key use cases for AI, but less focus on the analytics, personalization, automation, and then using it as a thought partner. I think agentive AI, where AI begins to do things on our behalf, will really put many of the ethical issues more in the forefront. There's so much discussion around technology and capabilities, innovation, but there's hardly any discussion around responsible and ethical use. And I think when agentive AI comes to be, when it is now starting to do things on our behalf, I think ethical use and responsible use will be elevated, I hope. Otherwise, this gap between innovation and responsible use will continue to widen. And that's when we get in all sorts of trouble, right? In trust issues, transparency, security, privacy issues, those things. And when AI starts to do more things for us, I think trust will come to the forefront. It will vary by use case, because if it's an AI designed for healthcare, there are only certain types of companies that you would trust to give your healthcare information to. It might be different from the companies that you will give your travel information or your financial information or your email to. The level of control that you will want with your data. For some things, you might say, yeah, I'll give you control over select emails, but I won't give you control over making my financial investments or filing my taxes. And there's also this level of trust around the actual company that's doing business with you. So I think those kinds of conversations, I'm hoping get elevated sooner rather than later, because I feel like innovation's just barreling down very quickly.
Yes, yes. Things will be very, very different in 6 months, I would imagine.
That's right. That's right.
Lisa, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate your wisdom and your sharing. What's the best way for people to reach out to you if they want to engage with you with what you're doing?
I'm on LinkedIn, so look me up and follow me. I post quite a bit, and I share because I so believe in sharing in this AI community. So it's just Liza, Liza Adams. And you can also visit my website. It's growthpath.net.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Craig. Have a great day.